Hi, everyone. Welcome to the very first episode of Unscripted with Bill. I'm Claire, and this is a series where I sit down with our CEO, Bill, to talk about the biggest ideas, trends, and challenges shaping employee benefits today. No scripts, no rehearsed answers, just honest conversations and real perspectives from someone who's spent years helping employers simplify benefits. So, Bill, I'm excited to kick off our very first episode with you. This year, Clarity's National Simplicity Day theme is Simple by Design, and it's a phrase we've been using a lot lately. But I want to start with something simple. Bill, when you hear simple by design, what does it mean to you? And why do you believe simplicity is going to shape the future of benefits administration?
That's a good question. Simplicity by design is really a philosophy. It's about looking at every interaction, asking ourselves, how do we make things easier? Easier for brokers, easier for clients, and most importantly, easy for participants. It's basically removing friction, eliminating confusion, and creating an experience that feels intuitive and effortless. And that's our philosophy, is to make things as simple as possible as part of our DNA. And automation, so clients have a simpler experience. That's what differentiates us from in the future.
That's a great perspective, Bill. Building on that, let's talk about one area where we're seeing simplicity come to life. The employee benefits industry has relied on manual file feeds for years, and they've certainly served their purpose. But the industry is evolving. Bill, why do you think it's time for that to change?
I think you need to take a step back and look at the history of this process. When I entered the industry, basically integration was all manual. It was that there wasn't a unified or simple way to send data, so it was a manual process. And then from there, we moved to files, and a good TPA was somebody that could accept various file formats. The problem with that, though, is that it's getting it in the right format. So we would spend a huge amount of time, and so would our clients, on getting the right file format. At Clarity right now, we do 30,000 files a month. So if you think of 30,000 files a month, there is going to be friction as part of that. And what does that friction mean? Well, it means that deposits aren't being updated on time. Employees' cards may not have the right balances and so on. But it was a huge step forward from manual, which might have taken a week to update our system, to files. Now, what's the next wave? And the next wave is API integration. It's a much simpler way to move data from one point to the other. So it's just a natural progression of how things are moving.
That's a great point, Bill. Let's talk about how Clarity is responding to those changes. What inspired Clarity to develop API integrations, and how does that support your vision of simplifying benefits administration?
Make it real simple. We listen to our clients. That's the biggest thing. Is it's not about what technology is out there, because technology is moving so fast. It's to listen to your client, to understand that, and then to say, okay, based on listening, how do we integrate technology? And when we listen, what was it? Clients want less administration. They want more time. They want innovation to make things simpler for them. That's what our brokers are asking for, and that's what our participants are asking for. And API is one example. It's not the goal. The goal is just simplicity in everything that we do. And APIs is one important piece of that puzzle. Bottom line is technology should be invisible. It should just work. And that's one of the things that APIs do.
I really like that perspective, Bill. Moving on to my next question. Bill, API integrations aren't new to the industry, and many TPAs offer them. From your perspective, what truly sets Clarity's approach apart?
That's a good question. Think about what I was just saying before about the history and how things move forward. We're now at virtually every company out there has an API. So instead of dealing with 30,000 files, we're dealing with maybe 100 different APIs. And every API has a different format. So setting up an API still takes time. Now, once it's in there, it's a great way of communicating. It's a conversation that we're having with the platform. but it still is time consuming. So when we looked at APIs, yes, no doubt the competition, all of it, good TPA is going to offer it. How do we bring that one step forward? How do we leapfrog? How do I go from files to a new technology? And what we've developed is one API that can talk to any API out there in the industry. So that is a real good leap forward. It's not just look at the way things are being done and saying, fine, we went from files to APIs and let's high five. It's okay, we're going to files and how do we really do simplicity by design? And that is pushing the envelope. So our view of APIs is that it should really meet the goal of why they were built, and that's simplicity. We spent a lot of time working on this, and it's a lot of hard work to be simple. But what we are developing and what we're bringing to the industry is one API that virtually can connect to any API out there from our platforms. Literally, it takes our clients no more than 30 minutes to set it up, and probably faster than that. And we have an instant connection to the platform. And that's what simplicity by design is to me.
That's a great point. Making technology easier to adopt is just as important as building it in the first place. For someone hearing about API integrations for the first time, the term itself can sound pretty technical. Bill, how would you explain what API integrations are and why they matter?
Well, think of an API as a direct conversation between two systems. Instead of moving files back and forth, the systems just share information automatically. So it's files are a point in time. APIs is a constant communication back and forth. It's really the way, if you had to build something, it's the way that you would want it, but technology just wasn't there. So as technology advanced, the API was just a simple way of connecting data and a simple way of having that constant communication back and forth.
That makes a lot of sense. It certainly sounds like the industry is moving toward a more connected future. Looking ahead, where do you see the industry going? Bill, do you see API integrations becoming the new standard for benefits administration over the next few years? Why?
For now, if you asked me when we were doing file integration and we rolled that out and we do a great job with files, I thought at that point we had simplicity. And now we have APIs. And we really knocked out of the park by having one API that talks to everybody. But I think that we have to keep on looking for the future. APIs is the way we're going to be for a while. But with AI coming out and everything, every other advancement, it's really just part of the journey. And at Clarity, what we have to really do is continue to look at friction points, continue to listen to our clients, and then to figure out what that next wave is. Now, I don't know what that next wave is, but by listening to our clients, staying on top of things, there will be in a few years another way of doing it. But for the time being, APIs are here, and that's the way data is going to move.
That's an exciting vision for where the industry is headed. But there are still many employers and brokers who rely on manual processes because that's what they're familiar with. Bill, if you were speaking directly to them, what would you want them to know?
Well, first of all, you're not alone. There are a large amount of brokers and clients that are, I'll put it this way, if it's not broke, why fix it? So in many cases, a broker, if they don't hear noise, they're happy. And even clients and HR managers, if they don't hear noise, do they push the envelope? But what they don't realize is that there there's still friction that they may not be aware of. File administration takes constant maintenance. There's expenses. There's things that are happening that they may not be aware of. So just the way we listen, there is the ability for them to also dig a little deeper, don't accept the status quo, and look for that next. Well, quite honestly, they don't have to look. What they have to do really is depend on a vendor that is looking for them. And that's what we're going to do. But first, they're not alone. Second, it may be working for them right now, but you always want a better way. And that's what we're here for.
I think that's a valuable message, Bill. We've covered a lot today. If our viewers remember just one thing from today's conversation, what would you want that takeaway to be?
That's a good question. What I'd want people to understand is that Clarity's philosophy is simple by design. Our tagline is simply smarter. And what I want them to understand is that Clarity as a company is on a journey. And our journey is that as our industry gets more complicated, and it is every year there's new IRS rules. What we do is defined by the IRS and various rules. And as it becomes more complex, we are moving in that same direction of saying, how fast can we make things simpler? So the key is this: it's not API, it's the result of that API. It's simplicity by design. And that's one of the reasons why we celebrate National Simplicity Day, is that it is our goal to make things just work, to make it so simple. What we do is we save our clients money by reducing their taxes. We save it, we make benefits more affordable. We provide brokers with tools to control cost, and that's what they have to focus on. And what we have to focus on is making it and delivering it in a way where it just works. And that's what I want them to understand, is whether it's API or AI or any of these technology terms. The bottom line is it's very hard to be simple, but we are working day and night to provide the best experience for our clients. And that's what I'd like you to get out of it, is that our goal is simplicity. Our goal is to make things work for our clients, work for our participants, work for our brokers, so that they could focus on what they do best and let us focus on what we do best.
That's a great message to leave everyone with. Before we wrap up, I have one last question. We've talked about where the industry is today and how Clarity is helping shape where it's going. Bill, what excites you most about where Clarity is headed this year?
It's a great journey that we're on. One API that just connects to everything is a real amazing step forward. But we're not going to high five on that. We have a lot more to do with the way AI is making things simpler. Technology is moving so fast. So it's the journey. And with simplicity, the journey never ends. So, and that's what we're about. And I really just enjoy delivering that journey and making it happen. So it's an exciting time for Clarity. It's an exciting time for benefits. And the key is focus on what you do best, and let us do what we do best. And that's making things simple.
Bill, thanks so much for taking the time to share your thoughts with us today. It's been a great conversation, and I think it's a good reminder that simplicity isn't just about technology. It's about creating a better experience for everyone involved. If there's a topic you'd like Bill to cover in a future episode of Unscripted with Bill, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear what questions or challenges are top of mind for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode of #Unscripted with Bill.